All right, it's been a long, hot day working on Tommy's 2015 Camaro here, and what I did was I installed the Sony 9500 radio with the iDataLink Maestro integration piece into this bad boy. Now, the funny part here is he actually said that he didn't really care about the buttons on the top of the kit, and he didn't really want to see them, and ironically, he doesn't get to see them, but that's where they are back there. As you can see, we've got quick hard buttons to the climate, the gauges, lock, unlock, the hazards, fan speed, info, and the defrost, and then 4 programmable buttons. None of those are easily accessible, and although I actually did want to move it down a little bit more, you'll happen to notice this luxurious Camaro massive shifter knob that he has installed, and the clearance there is basically that much. I got maybe 1/8 of an inch, so I couldn't go any lower with it because of this manly shifter. So whatever, let's turn this thing on and you'll get to see what I'm talking about. It is a typical 9500 install, so it's going to have all of the features that you know and love with the Sony 9500. With the Maestro kit, we have immediate integration with the steering wheel controls, so that's a given. But obviously, what's more important is the fact that communicating through the CAN line gives us access to the climate, some gauges, and some other cool nonsense. Now, to give him easy access to the climate controls, I put a little hot button for it right there, and it brings it up, as you can see. And if I click on the power button, it'll start blowing out the AC. We can turn up the fan motor like that, make it even colder. Hopefully you should hear it blowing on us right now, and since that's going to make really bad audio for this video, I'm going to turn it right back off. I made both of the lower soft buttons just go right back to the home screen so he won't get too confused, but we can click on that. It'll bring up the gauges. Let me start the car, and you can see that right now we've got the tach running, and if I rev the engine, oh man, look at that, it's so cool. You know, these Chevy guys, they love this nonsense. And we've got a second screen too where we can do lots of dangerous stuff like 0 to 60 and quarter-mile time and other things that we really shouldn't be doing. Again, I can touch the soft button and it'll take me right back to the home screen. For the record, these gauge screens are completely customizable. You can select which ones you want and figure out how you want that layout. I do love this radio. Going back to the home screen, we've got USB access, which I ran just down outside of his center console, so this is a USB-C, so you can plug in a flash drive to this or your phone, and that will give you access to movies and cool things that you can play on the screen. I put the settings right there for him, and then if you pull up all of the apps, we can also pull up the vehicle info screen, and we can see our tire pressure, if you've got any check engine lights, and also our battery voltage. To look at that, we're going to touch that and go right back to the home screen. And if we go into reverse, we have a new backup camera. The factory did not come with one, so this is an aftermarket backup camera. I believe it is the Rydeen MINy. And what's super cool about this is it still has the dynamic parking lines, which are coming from the CAN bus, even though this trim level Camaro did not have a factory OEM backup camera. So I think that's pretty rad, quite honestly. And I'm sure you've noticed by now that I've been skipping over this first one, which is camera 1, and that is the front camera that I installed, which I don't get to do many of these. I really enjoy them, and it is, I guess, adjustable. I turned off the parking lines, but he'll be able to now park confidently and securely and not hit any curbs, which was his request. And then we're gonna hit that screen right there, and it takes us right back to the home screen. I think it's worth mentioning on this radio that we have Maestro settings where we can change some really interesting things. I didn't really play around with the hands-free calling, but the vehicle features, we can do vehicle settings. So like within the lighting system, you can choose like how long the lights stay on after you get out of the car. I don't actually know what locator lights are, but okay, let's move on from that. The power door locks, we can change whether or not they automatically do things. I would like to say the most important thing in the entire world to me is this one right here, this chime volume, which when I found that, I changed it to 2 because when you open the door chime originally was on like stupid flippin' loud, and it's just unnecessary, so you can turn that down. And what's interesting, by the same token here, the turn signal also originally played through the radio. So let me turn off the door chime by closing that, and I can turn on our little click click. You can see that we got a little click click, and hopefully you can hear it right now. And if you can't hear it, Wow. And if you were like, man, I really just don't want to hear my turn signal, then you can just turn it down and it's super quiet. But I thought it sounded really nice right around that 7. But I just love the fact that you can change these types of settings on the vehicle through the Maestro, through this radio. So that's pretty much the gist for the radio. So let's get outside the car and I'll show you these camera installations. So here's the rear camera installation. I chose to use the license plate frame bracket that goes behind the license plate and it goosenecks over so you can see that it supports it just like so. I really like those. And this is the front camera right here. As you can see, I cut just a little bit of a tiny notch so that I could recess it back and had to drill an access hole for the wire, but that is pretty much non-noticeable once you start looking at the whole front end of the bumper, and it no longer is the most forward protruding location on the car. I like all of the components that I used on this installation, and I would recommend them separately or all together as a package. Pricing and product information for this particular build will be in the video description, so if you're interested in that, be sure to check that out. If you're interested in a build for yourself, that's okay too. You can submit a build request via the form on the website. The link to my website will be in the video description, so you can check it out there. As always, I greatly appreciate you watching. This is 13 with Superior Mobile by 13. I'll talk to you later. See ya.